Do you ever feel like you're not doing enough when it comes to growing your YouTube channel? I mean, maybe you're not, maybe you are. We're going to talk about it, and we're starting right now.
This video is brought to you by Placeit. Placeit has easy to edit YouTube intros, channel banners, end screens, and more for YouTubers. And the best part is you don't have to have any additional software to use Placeit. You do everything directly in your browser. And because of their professionally designed templates, you don't have to have any design skills to make pro quality designs for your YouTube channel. Check this out. Using Placeit is as easy as selecting the template you want to use, editing the text to fit your needs, adjusting the colors to match your channel, and then saving your finished file to your computer. You can even upload images to really make your designs pop. To try Placeit for yourself and save 15% off of your Placeit account, use the link in the description of this video.
Okay, so this question is part of the subscriber Q&A series that I'm doing where I'm answering your questions specifically. So if you have a question about what it is that you're doing on YouTube, make sure that you put it in the comments and then it might show up in one of these videos. But today's question is from Girly Westfalen. And even though this is more of a comment than a question, I think it's something that a lot of us as content creators deal with. Girly says, I just started my YouTube channel last year and I feel like I'm not doing enough. I have a lot to learn and a long way to go. I would like to improve and be better at it. I've been watching your videos a lot to help me and not give up. This is my passion and I want to keep going. You inspire me, Nick. Thank you. Thank you, Girly, for the comment. I appreciate it. And I think that what you're talking about is something that a lot of us go through as content creators. You know, like there's the side of things where you're putting a lot of effort into your videos and you're watching videos like mine where you're trying to learn how to do all this stuff in the first place so that you can get better at it. But there's only so much time in the day. And since there's only so much time in the day, sometimes we, at the end of the day, we feel kind of like, you know, did I really do all that I could? Did I really put in the effort that I needed to put in order to make sure that I'm heading in the right direction? And I think this whole thing kind of leads to YouTube burnout because we have those feelings inside of us that are like, you know, hey, I'm not doing enough. I need to do more and more. And then the next thing you know, you're doing too much and then you just can't handle it and you end up burning out, and it takes the joy out of uploading content, which, you know, part of the reason that you're doing it in the first place is because it's something that you enjoy. So if you feel like you're not doing enough, I want to share with you some things that you can focus on so that you can put your efforts towards just a few things that will actually move the needle for you and take away from some of the time that you might be spending on things that, well, let's be honest, they don't really matter. Or they matter, but just not as much as the things that are really going to move the needle for you. So when people start uploading videos to YouTube, the first thing in their mind is they start thinking, okay, I got to start sharing my content all over these social media platforms. I got to grow all of my social media platforms at one time while I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. And because of that, what happens is they end up spending their time on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, all these other places instead of really focusing their efforts on the one that they're really trying to get traction on. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't spend time on other social media platforms or that you shouldn't try to grow your influence all over the internet. But what I am saying is that if you feel like you're not doing enough and it keeps you in that grind of having to just always be doing something in order to keep trying to move your YouTube channel forward, pull back from some of that stuff and take that energy that you're putting there and put it all in your YouTube channel. Because part of the feeling of not feeling like you're doing enough is because you're not getting the results necessarily that you're really after. And if you're not getting those results, then you're going to continue feeling like you're not doing enough. And spreading yourself out too thin is going to end you up in a situation to where you're most likely not going to end up getting the results that you're after because you're spreading yourself too thin and you can't really put a strong focus on a particular thing. So here's what you need to do. Instead of spending a lot of time posting all over the internet, take some time to post on the internet from time to time, but focus your efforts. If you're trying to move the needle on YouTube, focus your efforts right now, just for now, focus your efforts on YouTube. Again, use the other platforms, but focus a majority of your energy on what it is that you're doing on YouTube so that you can get a better understanding of what works here. Because there's nothing that's going to be more powerful for you of bringing you more viewers or bringing you more subscribers than getting YouTube to work on your behalf. So how do you do that? How do you get YouTube to work on your behalf? This is how. You always hear me and other people who make content like me talking about the importance of getting people to click on your thumbnails, getting people to click on your titles, getting people to watch your videos for a fair amount of time. And the reason for that is because those things have the biggest impact when it comes to getting traction on YouTube. So for example, if you can't get people to click, it doesn't matter how awesome your video is, nobody's ever going to know. But if you're getting people to click, but then they're not enjoying your video, then it's going to appear to YouTube systems like it's clickbaity because people are clicking on it at a high rate, but they're not actually watching the content once they get there, which sends YouTube the wrong signals in terms of how people are responding to your content. If you look at the image on the screen right now, YouTube is showing me, this is directly from the YouTube dashboard. It's showing me, and you get these messages sometimes too, but this message is showing me that YouTube is not showing this video to more people because people aren't watching it for as long of a time. Now, it doesn't say it's because they're not liking the video. It doesn't say because people aren't leaving comments. It's saying because they're not watching the video for as long as they usually do. And then this image tells us that the video is doing better because people are clicking on it more and they're watching for a long period of time. And again, they're not talking about likes. They're not talking about comments. They're not talking about anything else except people clicking and watching the videos. So when you feel like you're not doing enough, or you feel like your time is limited in terms of the amount of time that you can spend in your YouTube efforts and what it is that you're trying to accomplish here on YouTube, if you feel like you're not doing enough, or you just feel like you need to allot your time in a better way, spend that time trying to get people to click on your videos more and watch your videos for a longer period of time. Now, how do we do that? The very first part of that is to make sure that whatever it is that you're using for your thumbnail and however you're writing your titles for your video, to make sure that they build the right expectation for the viewer in order to get them to watch the video. What I mean by that is, if you make a sensational thumbnail and title, that might get people to click, but once they land on the video, they might not watch because the video doesn't match the expectation that they had with the title and the thumbnail. But when you build the expectation properly from the outside in terms of your thumbnail and title, and people do click on your thumb and title to come in to watch your video, then what's happening is, if that expectation is built properly, people end up watching your video for a longer period of time because they are getting exactly what it is that they expected from the outside in terms of your title and thumbnail. So if you feel like you're not doing enough, or if you want to focus on the right things, then in that situation, in order to do enough so that your YouTube channel performs better, you got to work on getting people to click on your thumbnail and title and meet their expectation of what they might expect once they do click on that thumbnail and title. Make sense? If that is making sense so far, give me a thumbs up. Another thing when it comes to your title and your thumbnail and how it builds the expectation, if you have a limited amount of time, or if you want to make sure that you're putting in the right efforts on the right things, another thing that you got to think about with your thumbnail and title is, how clear is it to the potential person that you're trying to reach that your video is for them? You don't have to actually sit in front of a computer for this. You can just look on your phone while you're at work or while you're at a coffee shop or whatever, and you can just start going through your content and start thinking, okay, the time that I am putting into this so that I can make sure that it's going to move the needle on my YouTube channel, I'm going to spend that time actually analyzing what it is that I'm doing and making sure that it's crystal clear in my thumbnails, in titles, and just in my content in general, what it is that the viewer is going to get from the video that they click on. Clarity equals clicks. Write that down. When people are clear about what it is that they're going to get from the video, they are likely to click on it if it's something that they are interested in. Now, of course, I could make this video 2 hours long just talking about thumbnails, but I won't. We're going to move on. And the next thing that you need to make sure that you're focusing on when you don't feel like you're doing enough is, you just need to focus on your actual audience retention. And you can do that on a mobile device by going into the YouTube Creator Studio app, or it's called the YouTube Studio app now. And you can go in there and you can actually see your audience retention reports, even if you're a mobile content creator. And if you're a mobile content creator, you can get more in-depth analytics, and you can even watch your video while you're looking at the audience retention report. So you can really start fine-tuning how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, or you can clearly see how they're responding to what it is that you're doing by using the Chrome browser on your phone and then using desktop mode. If you do that, then you can access the full analytics like desktop users get, which gives you tons more information about your YouTube channel. But anyway, when you're trying to move the needle on your YouTube channel and you want to make sure that the efforts that you are putting out there, even if it's limited efforts, you want to make sure that they're efforts that are going to move the needle for you. Getting people to watch your videos for a longer time is a win. And another thing that you want to keep in mind when you're trying to get people to watch your videos for a longer period of time is, you just want to think about their experience. Like, what are people actually getting or going through when they're watching your videos? Because I know us as content creators, when people are, or when we're watching our videos, in our minds, we're thinking like, oh yeah, that was a cool graphic, or I should have done that faster, I should have said that better. But we're not really looking at it from a viewer's perspective. But if you can change that in your mind to where you start watching your videos from a viewer perspective, you start identifying all types of holes in your content. Here's what I mean. You'll realize that your logo intro, for example, that it doesn't really add much value to your video. I mean, it might make it look cool, and when you watch it, it might be like, yeah, that's cool, flash my logo up on the screen. But at the end of the day, in terms of the value that the viewers are getting from the video and the experience that they're having, it doesn't really add much to the video in almost every situation. You might also notice in that situation that you waste a lot of time in your videos, that when the viewer comes in, they're expecting one thing, but it takes you forever to actually do whatever it is that you happen to be doing in that video, or talk about whatever it is that you're talking about in that video, and so on. So you just want to pay really close attention to your videos, how people are responding to them, and you want to make sure that you're looking at it from a viewer's perspective and making sure that you're keeping their experience in mind when they're actually watching your content. But if you feel like you're not doing enough when it comes to trying to grow your YouTube channel, in a lot of cases, let's be honest, a lot of cases people really aren't doing enough because there's so much involved, but most of it really comes down to paying attention to what it is that you're doing and monitoring what it is that you're doing. And it also comes to developing additional skills that will help you move the needle as well in terms of copywriting for your titles, in terms of design or imagery for your thumbnails, editing for your videos, creating a deeper understanding for who it is that you're actually making content for so that you can make sure that everything is catered a little bit better for them. But at the core of all of it, if you feel like you're not doing enough or you only have a limited amount of time to actually work on this stuff, focus on the things that I'm talking about in terms of getting people to click and getting people to watch for a longer period of time. And there's tons of nuance within that. It's not just as easy as saying, just get them to click. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's like saying, oh, hey, all I got to do is just, build a rocket ship and then I can go to the moon. It's not that easy. It sounds great, but there's tons of nuance involved. That's why it's good to make sure that the time that you are spending is allotted in a proper way in order to make sure that you are, doing the right things that are going to help you actually move the needle. And a lot of that will come down to the nuance of what it is that you do and how it is that you do that thing. But look, if you're a driven person and you have that inside of you where it always feels like you're not doing enough, I just want you to give yourself a break because, I'm one of those people too. And it's like, it doesn't matter how long I work throughout the day. It doesn't matter, what projects I finish or don't finish or what I'm working on. I always feel like I can be doing more. And I feel you in that situation. But, if you are one of those people, give yourself a break sometime and just look at all of the things that you are doing in your life all the way around, not just your YouTube channel, but look at all the different things that you're doing and all the different things that you're involved with and how well you're actually managing all of the things that you're involved with, even though they might not be at the level that you would like them to be right now. You're working towards that right now with the time that you do have to dedicate to what it is that you're doing here. And you'll be fine. For the time that you do put in, just make sure that you are focusing on the right things that will actually make a big impact instead of spending time on wasteful things. To learn more about growing your YouTube channel and to watch more of these subscriber Q&A videos, make sure you click into this playlist right here. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.